Hello everyone, welcome to the Delphi Technologies how-to video series. I'm Dave Hobbs, Senior Instructor here at Delphi Technologies, and today we're talking steering suspension, and specifically how to check and how to replace the inner and the outer tie rods on a car. A lot of steering and suspension problems can result in some of the same symptoms and noises. And let's talk about those for the outer tie rods that are worn out. So when this joint right here wears out, or this collar, this tapered fit wears out, then we have an issue with either loose steering, tire wear, vehicle pulls one way or the other on the road because of the incorrect toe, or you can't adjust the alignment and make it stay, or noises, sometimes going over bumps. This thing is loose in here, click, 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 click. You get a rattling or a chuckling noise. So here's how you test for outer tie rod excess wear. You literally, while either on the ground, if you're do-it-yourselfer, raised up just a little bit, a couple of inches, or on the rack for professionals, you go 9 and 3, and you're going to move the wheel. Now this car is pretty tight. The tie rod ends don't appear to be excessively worn. If they were worn, as opposed to just actually turning the steering wheel nice and smooth, you'd feel this shaking, almost like you'd think the lug nuts are loose, but they're not loose. That's a classic sign of outer tie rod wear. So let's go ahead and get working on replacing an outer tie rod end. After we've soaked this jam nut and this thread on the inner tie rod, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold the inner tie rod with a wrench and bust the jam nut loose. Jam nut looks like on this car about 15/16. It is. Now the whole thing's going to want to turn, the outer tie rod end and the inner tie rod. I don't want it to turn. I want this to stay put. So I'm going to see what size this is. The new one is 9/16. So now it's just a little tedious process of wrenching. We looked at it with our video camera, how far that's in. You could have also marked that with a scratch awl, but know where the jam nut was so you can put it back in place. I'll go ahead and do a little bore. Now that is loosened. Now I can work on this. I wanted to do this first while that's firmly affixed. The factory tells you to do this. I'll tell you to do it as an instructor. It's been around a while. Use the proper puller. So we're going to do that now. And it's a piece of cake with the proper tool. So I'm just going to turn clockwise there. Easy. It popped up. But we're going to count this as we take this off. 19, okay, about 19, almost 20 turns. So, a final comparison, and we're good to go. Well, we're going to hold the new one here as we turn the nut and tighten it to the Torx setting. Sure the taper goes in all the way. Seats. Put the new nut on as far as you can, finger tight. And what will happen is this shaft, or the whole stud, will start spinning in here. So the last thing we want to do, as soon as that starts spinning, we stop turning that nut. And we hold that. It's not spinning yet. That's starting to spin. Last thing you want to do is put an impact wrench on this and try to buzz it up in there. You're just going to spin that joint in there and ruin the new one. So now, I believe this is 8mm or 5/16, so whatever hardware you want to use. Make sure that ratchet doesn't bend this backing plate as it holds that stud of that outer tie rod in place. So that jam nut is tight. Everything looks good as far as our outer tie rod. We've checked the inner tie rod. There was no looseness there. Ready to put the wheel on. And then take it immediately for an alignment and then a steering angle sensor reset. Thanks for watching, and for more help on steering and suspension repairs, be sure to download the Delphi Auto Parts app, available for both Android and Apple products. And also check out all the other how-to training video series to get more tips to help you make more money and save time in your repair shop.